Okay, hi everybody. Good evening. And if you can hear me, then you are welcome to the Group D 2025. It's going to be a very lovely 3 days, which is going to be span of over 3 weeks. So we are going to cover just probably creating a design this week. Then I begin to share for you guys towards the end of the week or towards the end of the days, the last day, maybe tips on how you could probably apply those things to clients or to also your personal project. I am aiming to see how I can actually teach people how to use this software to create designs that are very, very stunning. Not just stunning, but also functional. Because no matter how your design is very stunning, if it's not functional, it doesn't fulfill or doesn't accomplish its purpose. So I'm going to go over introducing myself, then I'll move forward to having to go into talking about maybe design and how we can actually impact us. So my name is Jerry Jehu Ojonugwa. I am a graduate from the University of Jos. I study electrical electronics engineering, and I just completed my service, and I'm currently an in-house designer for a firm or an organization instead. I have almost half a decade worth of experience in designs. I One of my projects or my best project is the 365 days of design, which I actually did 2020 when I started designing. And I have been designing ever since 2020, and up to now I'm still also designing. Probably might be interested in the 365 days project that I did, and I also posted it on social media. So I will also share the link probably at the end of this session that we are going to have. Um, Also, I have worked on magazines for organizations, both private and also public organizations, like the military and all those ones like that. I also work with brands in creating website assets and also creating websites. Currently, I am transitioning into not fully transitioning, but also opting in or bringing in UX UI design into something, into what I do or into the brand we design. So I am here to share with you my knowledge, just the little knowledge I have about Adobe Illustrator and how you could manipulate it to get the best of it. So if you're just joining me for the first time, although I could see some people that have been in my class or in the classes we had before previously, I can actually see some and also see some new ones here. So I'm not going to waste our time. I'm just going to go straight into Adobe Illustrator. So I'm going to give you an introduction first on how to use Adobe Illustrator. Then, as I said in later classes, that is in probably the end of the classes, that is in the last class, probably we'll talk on how you could implement all this that you have learned, that is the design, and also see how you could also grow as a designer in 2025. Because it's very important that if you are a designer, you should see progress. So after the second class, we are going to have a practical session. Although after this class, we're going to have a practical session. I will give you to go and recreate what you have learned from this class. Then we have a practical session probably at the last week for it. So just you have to implement what you have learned in order for us to know that at least you have grown. Then from subsequent time we'll be seeing your growth, and or probably my DM will be open for you guys to actually reach out to me. So good. So let me jump into Adobe Illustrator and I give you introduction. If you can actually see my mouse, okay, yeah, I think it's very clear now. Then, so good. So first of all, you have your interface like this. Do not get overwhelmed by it. I can just go back so that you see the first thing. This is the first thing you see when you open Adobe Illustrator for the very first time. And you shouldn't be overwhelmed. It's very simple, straightforward. Yours will not have any recent if you installed it for the first time, but mine has the recent because I've used it for some projects and like that. Now, when you're opening the interface, you have like a start up file, something that you can just quickly jump into. So for prints or for postcards, which are also for print, and you have common, which are like for desktops, for webs, and for also videos. You can also edit videos like short form videos on Adobe Illustrator, but most times I use it to create thumbnails instead for YouTube. So what you need to do is understand that this top here is your menu bar. This is your menu bar where all the menu for everything that you might be able to use to tweak the software is found. Then we have to create a new file. We also have to open, and this one is if you have a project here already, you want to just continue it. If it's not found in recent, you could open it and just sort yourself on. So we can click on create new file. Well, I will just jump back to the one I had before. So now this is also the recent here. You shouldn't have anything on recent here. Some yeah, you shouldn't have anything there. You should have it maybe if you have saved anything before, you could also come back to save and see. But because I've not saved anything, that's why it's actually left blank. We also have for mobile. If you are editing for mobiles, you have for iPhones, and also depending on the kind of iPhone you're using, their dimensions or their sizes are actually different. For iPads, so if you are working on maybe an app design, and then maybe you just want to run one or two designs on app for an app, then you can just jump right into here instead of jumping into Figma. Figma will actually be more functional, but in case you do not have Figma or you are not conversant with Figma, Adobe Illustrator will work very much well. So okay, so let's continue. We have for web, we also have for print, we also have for film, and for art and illustration. So you could go through all these ones. You could see which one you're actually working on for postcards, for posters, and for different sizes that you may have. Now we are going to be working with a recent one, but I'll just jump back into it. So when you come to the right hand side of it, you could give it a title, like you could instead of after the whole instead of having the whole um untitled there at the end, you are trying to set a title for it. You could give it a title here and automatically have it there. So you could say practice. Sorry, that is not spelled well. Practice two, and you could change the width, you could change the height. But this is the standard portrait size for Instagram post. Then you could also set it to pixel points in feet. So if you are designing for a billboard, Illustrator also would do a very nice job for you because you could edit even to up to I think about up to 50 feet or so, up to 50 feet in Adobe Illustrator. So you could also work with those ones. So depending on your machine, please know that it's depending on your machine. If you have a very high functioning machine or a high end machine, then you could also work in very large feet. But Adobe Illustrator can handle feet as large as 50 or even 100 feet, I think. But I not verified, but I know about 50 though. I've worked on about 40 something feet in Adobe Illustrator. So we also have for bleeds. So in case you are working for print, you ensure that you have bleeds when you are working for print. So when it's being trimmed, then there's the extra white layer that is being placed on, so it doesn't affect the main content of what you're working on. So we are working on RGB because it's going to be for the net, or if you want for print, it is CMYK, and set it to 150. That's our raster, which is also our resolution. We set it to 150 pixel per inch. That's pixel per inch. That is PPI. Then we have preview mode, which is automatically default. Don't need to change that. Now if you go into more settings, you could have what they call something they call artboards. Now if you see the number of artboards here, it's 2. It means there will be 2 artboards, and one of the good things working with the Adobe Illustrator is that you can have multiple artboards, and when you're working on different artboards, you could work on 10 different designs at the same time just in one file. So when you are sending it probably to the client, all your files or all your designs will be inside one particular file. It also works in Photoshop, but it's more efficient when you're working in an Illustrator with artboards. Now, if you want how the artboards to be arranged, if you want them to move from left to right, then to bottom, then to right again, you could go that way, or you could go from top to bottom, then to right, and then bottom again, or you could just want it to go straight, or you want it to go down. So also works in this. This is just repetition of something that's been recent, or you change the direction, or if you want, you can go the other way and something like that. So that one also works. So now the spacings, or the space between each artboard, you could also set those ones. Most times I put it at 0, so in case I'm working on a carousel, it flows from one artboard to another. Size is there. The size is already set to custom. Already have that here. You put it on pixels, ensure it's on pixels. Working on, and that's the sizes we have here. I have RGB, and so that's all. If you want, you can save this as a template. So when next time you just jump into templates and you can use that for your design. So you could say create documents, and then just allow it to create document for you. So it creates, this is your file, and this is what you can probably use. But let's jump into ours so you can just see how you start designing. So as I said, this is the menu bar. This is where you have all your menu here. This right here, apologies for the network. Apologies for the network. My network is kind of fluctuating. Probably I should have a backup network here. Good. Okay, so let's continue here. So we have this as our menu bar. We have this as our toolbar. This is where the tools are, and this is what is called our property layer, or our property tab. Something like property tabs here. Then we have different tabs over here. You could open it to get the different options. So now this is already been customized to my own taste, the way I want it. But if you want to change those, you could also come to Windows, come to Workspace, and you can choose your layout. I'm using Essential Classic, a little bit tweaked to other things. I've added other things here like link and other things there. So you could do that too. And you could also change the arrangement. You could also change the arrangement of how it's been arranged in this case, and you could access that same layout workspace here. So you could change it from the side. If you're using Adobe 2020 above, you should have the same interface as mine. Nothing different, nothing changing from that case. So what else should I also talk about? So as I said, this is where your workspace is. This is like your main workspace where everything goes on, and these are the artboards as I spoke of initially. These are artboards. This is an artboard here. This is not an artboard. This is the design, or this is an image that's been placed on an artboard. So this is one artboard here. This is on that artboard here. If you could also see, you could see the artboard is changed. This is artboard 1, and this is artboard 2. You could duplicate or add more artboards, so you don't necessarily need to start with all the artboards in place. You could just start at adding those artboards. All you just need to do is apologies. Okay, so all you just need to do is have this artboard. Then you could duplicate the artboard if you want to. You could go into the artboard here. On the toolbar, you see what they call an artboard. The shortcut for it is Shift O. So Shift O, and you have it has gone into like the artboard space. All you need to do is hold on Alt and drag. Then you have a duplicate of that artboard. So it's very simple and straightforward to duplicate artboards. You could also rearrange the artboards if you want. You could move this to make this that way, but you have to go back to the artboard space to get that artboard here. So you could rearrange it to suit what you want. So that is one thing about the artboard. So let me just go straight and start designing, so we don't have to waste so much time talking about other things. If you have any questions or you want to any clarification, you can also reach out to me about this. Now, one good thing about Illustrator 2020 above is that you could work directly with Photoshop from the software itself. So in this case, I'm going to introduce an image, that the initial image that was not edited in this case. So I'm going to drag it there. I don't know if you could see my screen though, but okay, this is the image right over here. I might probably have to change my view so that I just share my entire screen in case you see anything that anything, so anything incriminating. So as I was saying, so this is the image we have initially. So I'm going to show you how you can edit this image directly before we jump into using Adobe Illustrator. So now if you import your image, you just click and drag your image into Adobe Illustrator. What you can do is that at the top here, this is an option bar. I didn't talk about the option bar, sorry for that. This is an option bar. Now the option bar appears as a result of the tool that is being selected. So if I select a different, if I select Oh, okay. So if I select a different, so I don't know if you guys can hear me because my network did fluctuate now. So in case I select a different tool, there is a different option that will be provided for depending on the shape that I have selected. So if I select a circle or rectangle, let me draw a shape. Now you see it has changed here depending on this here. If I could click, you could see some other things have been added in this case and other things have been changed. So that's the option bar. Now the option bar comes into play when you have a tool selected here and depending on the object that is being selected. So an object or anything that is being selected in your workspace. So now I have this selected here. I could come to this top here and say edit in Photoshop. I click on edit in Photoshop and it jumps from Adobe Illustrator into Photoshop for me to work on the image. I could just go and say remove background. If you're using Adobe Photoshop 2020 above, in case you don't have it or you're finding it hard to download it from any source, I will also provide it on this platform. Or you could also scroll up, you could see it. I've provided it on the platform. I could download it, and it's a straightforward download installation. It doesn't take time. So when you have done this, you have it masked already here. What you need to do is that you need to select any of the three selection tools here, and it gives you an option called the select and mask. You click on it and it takes you into the whole into the select and mask space. I like to call them spaces. Then now you could, with this selected here, you could drag in to cover those places that the machine made some errors. I think this is okay like this, like so good. And if you scroll down, ensure that your output here is new layer. I like working with just new layers, so I don't have to get bother myself about the other things. So I have this, I could select this and I could click on C, that's to crop. You have the tool here called crop tool, and you have the crop tool, so you could extend here because I want to have a continuation of this. I don't want to place it in such a way that it's not in that. So I have the machine, that is Photoshop, generates a particular addition for me in this case. So what I need to do is I come to maybe my pentagon tool. You could also use pen tool if you have the liberty to. I just want to just draw something very sketchy and I don't have the luxury for that long. So I do this, I join it here, ensure the layer is selected. I come to image, I come to content aware fill, then it automatically generates the image, the continuation for me. So this is what has been generated in this case. So I could just say okay, I need to be applied, and separate a additional layer will be created there, and I could say Control D to deselect, and I have something like that. But it's not looking too well. I could delete it and have it drawn again. Go like that. Yep, like that. Let's just delete that. Ctrl D, and let's draw a new one. Remember I said you could use pen. You could also use a pen tool. Like that. Good. Say edit content aware fill, and okay, sorry, you see no layer selected, that's why. I come back to this layer selected, I go this content aware fill, ensure that layer is selected, and voila, we have it complete. You say okay, and I think this will suffice much better. Yes, we could manage this even though it's not looking nice. I think it's not even looking nice at all, but we could just manage it for lecture purposes. I think it's supposed to extrude far. In that case, let's just do it. Not doing rush work here. So we could extrude it. And complete it there. Go to edit, go to content aware fill, and I could say okay, good. So I think this is okay. We could manage this, or we could work with this. Yeah, I think we could work with it. Although I'm having some like, but I think we could also work with this. So now we could merge these two together. Hold on my shift and merge this whole two together. All I need to do is Control E and it merges and become one. So I could do a small edit on it. I like to do a little bit of artistic look on it. So I go to that to the camera tree or the camera raw filter, something like that. I could work on the exposure, not to be too exposed, and I go back to go down to effect because there's no color. That's why this is grayed out, and I could increase the clarity, not too much, and the has, and say okay. I come back into here and I go to filter gallery, and I am applying the poster edges. Poster edges could be found right over here. This is poster edges, so I'm adding poster edges to this guy. If you want, if you adjust it, you could see the effect. So let's just go with this effect. I think this is okay. And the grain, I blurred it out. I just ignored it. So you don't need to apply those ones. So now you could see a little bit of artistic effect placed on it. I don't want to do anything too crazy. Just one. So I usually save it as a PSD, that's a Photoshop file, and I could just give it a name and say practice man and say okay and save it. So I save it as a Photoshop file. Now I come back into my Adobe Illustrator, and what I just need to do is to relink it. I could, like it's ensure it's selected, I could come to relink here in case you can't find relink. You go to effect, sorry, or you go to Windows, you scroll down and you see link, then you click on link, it shows you this option to link. So you can relink it here. Once you relink, you click on that, it takes you to where you save. You just go to direct to locate where you save your file and practice span, and automatically it will change. So now the good thing about this is that when you come back to your Photoshop file here and you do any editing on it, probably maybe you added a line, or let's just say we wanted to add let me see, what should I add? Let me use the brush tool, select layer, use the brush tool to reduce it. What color is that here? We could X, just click on exit, swap. So let me say I want to do, yeah, like a nose ring, something like that, and I say Control S and it saves. I come back to Illustrator, it gives me a prompt to effect the correction and automatically appears right over here. So that's one of the benefits of working with both softwares. So I've spent so much time working showing you how to work on software. Let's go into creating our own background. Now let's work on this. What we do is that we draw a base line like this, or a base shape like that, and we're going to use our picker or our eyedropper tool and select our base background. So now I'm going to pick out all the colors that is found on this design and then keep one side. Then I also add them to the swatches. So what I do is I will draw a shape. I think there's a quicker way for this, but I haven't done that research. So control D to duplicate such action you just made. I will select that's the bright side of this. Let's say this is the bright side of that. And for you, I think there are two colors on the yellow. There is this color which has been selected there, and also there is the darker color. Yes, the class will be uploaded on YouTube. Someone's asking, so the class will be uploaded on YouTube in case you actually having trouble following, probably because of network. So we have this placed this two. I will be reading messages from my phone, so probably I might just go quiet for some time. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. So now we have our swatches. We have already created our color palette for the whole design that we'll be having. So what we need to do is that we need to create this gradient, kind of gradient background. But what I did in that case is that I used the blend tool right over here. This is the blend tool. So I could duplicate this by saying control, right clicking on it and copying it. Then I need to paste it in front. So I go to paste and paste in front. The shortcut for pasting in front is Control F. So when you copy Control C, you paste in front, Control F. That's what paste in front. So you see we have two shapes there. What we want to do now is we're going to reduce the size of the shape in front, and we're going to choose the bright color here. Now we're going to apply a zigzag effect. Now the effect is here. We come here up top here to get the effects to proceed distort and zigzag. We can maybe not to apply it too much, make it smooth, and also increase maybe like this. I think this is okay. We say okay. Now we select the two of them and we come into object, we go into blend, and then we'll go into make. The shortcut for it is Alt Control B for blending. We click on the blend and we have this. We come into the blend tool right over at the toolbar, double click on that, and then we'll go to specified steps. You could increase it. I'm holding on shift, pressing the arrow key up, so I'll have like 10. So you add 10, additional 10. If I want to reduce 10 minus 10, I also hold on the shift and also do that. So you could have this. So I think it's giving us that the same vibes that we have in this background right over there. We'll click on OK and zoom in so you see what I mean. So this is what I mean here. We are having that implemented in this case. So this is curved. In case it's not looking the way you want it to look like, you could double click and come into that space, and then you could edit each of the shapes that you have. So maybe the zigzag and make it so it's like more rigid like that. So that's it. So we have that in this case. So now we're going to bring our man and place him in the middle, and then we have this. So we can draw this outline. Now this is where it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of time for me to start drawing all this one. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to draw one, then I'll just duplicate the rest. Although in this case I think I'm having different things here, but I'm just going to do one, then I'm going to duplicate it. Just random shapes that I placed on it. So let's keep this aside and also start drawing our shapes. So we're going to draw one line first, then you can duplicate the next line, and you zoom in a little bit on it. Click here, press A, which is for the direct selection tool here. You click on this side, ensure this is white, and ensure this is the only selected side. So now you can drag it and place it right over here. Let's go to the other side. Do the same thing. When you select it, then you drag over there like that, like so. This is the center of it. Could use the pen tool. The pen tool, P is for the pen tool, shortcut for it is P, and we could bring it to this side. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to select the bright side for that and the dark side for this. So we have that, like, understand, that kind of like shadow and showing that like light reflection and stuff like that. So you could group them together. When you highlight the two of them, you group them together, and then you could have your text placed over there. So let me just type in my text. Practice makes mastery, because you cannot be perfect, because you can not attain perfection. And like so, we place that at the top. I'm using a font called Clash Text. We'll be also using our regular font. Increase the size to, I think that's something it's okay. Mastery, that's wrong. Mastery, because you cannot attain perfection. Yep, so that's it. You could add 3 and put a dash, 3, and Ctrl C or Ctrl 8, copy, highlight everything, Ctrl C to copy, and Ctrl V to paste, and make more duplicates of that one. So I think we have this enough. Is enough for this. We could make our shape longer. and we have those. So we select the two of them, ensure that they are grouped together, and then we can now start distributing them as different stuff like that. So I think like this, and then like so. And I think there's another way you could also apply this. You could decide to make it a pattern in such cases. Maybe we might try that in the next class. The next class is going to be very quick, and then maybe we'll also try to experiment some of the things. I just want to show you how I did this. Then for the next class, we'll be able to experiment and see how we could do. So we could group this one and duplicate it. Then what we can do is we can turn it like this, or should we maybe like that? So we could just have it like that, just for trying to be time purpose, because I want you guys to be able to ask questions after the class. And so we could have this placed in the center, if it's not entirely, it doesn't have to entirely have to be in the center. It could be like this, and we could zoom in like so, like this. Good. So now I think we are almost done. There is no other thing here for me to add. There's no other thing. It's just the same thing you've seen right over here. Just a little bit maybe additional shadows that was added on the shapes or under of it. So that one, the way you could also do that one is you should have done it, or if I would have done it, I would have done it earlier. And from the so let me delete this first. Let me ungroup this, and let me place this at the center like this. So I'm going to draw that same line like that, and have this like this. Then we could turn it, draw, and place, bring it down, and send it to the back of that one there. So already our shadow is beginning to come into place. We drop the opacity to about maybe 30 something, maybe 31. Then we go to blur, Gaussian blur, and 20 should be enough. And okay, so automatically we have our shadow there. We could group them together if you want, but first want to duplicate this and place under here. Do that same for here. Do that same for here. And then do the same thing here. Like so. Like so. And like so. So select everything, and then you could group them. Yeah, we could group them. Then we could take this part to just we could sorry ungroup them, and maybe have those ones deleted because we will be placing those ones under of our design. Good, so we'll have this and group them together. Sorry, bring that there. You could rotate or you could invert, but just rotate it like so. Okay. So now we have this. Oh, we also want to take it behind. Okay, so we also want to take it behind. So what we're going to do is that we're going to send it to behind of our text. So we're going to hold on Control, and the curly bracket, open curly bracket, we'll send it behind like so. So you have that shadow that's been placed at the top. Now, when you're done with designing, most times people do ask questions of how do I trim this part, or how do I ensure that it looks clean when I'm presenting. Probably I want to present the final design or the file, the entire file, not the output to the client. So if you want to make it your design maybe just clean, want to clean it up, or you just draw a shape and draw it to the shape of the artboard that you want to export. So you could draw the shape like so, ensure it's at the center, or if you want to impute it manually, ensure that the size, so it could be is 1080 by 1350, and then we have that. So ensure it's placed at the center like this. So the place at the center. Then now you highlight everything or you select everything and right click and you create a clipping mask. So your design will be clean and well presentable for you, probably for your clients in such cases like that. So this is just how you could go about it. It's a very straightforward process. It's no long talk. I think I did this within the space of 15 minutes. But what was the problem is just having the idea or starting the idea from scratch. And most times when I do those things, I do not like go and do much research and then come back again and say, okay, no, this is what I need to change. So most times I just do the designs and just start from finish. If like I have a recording of it, but it's a speed. It has to be a speed recording because I was not saying anything when I was designing the video, making the video like that for the design. So I'm going to let the have like 15 minutes. So I'm going to ask questions. If anybody have questions, I would love to answer your questions in for this session now. So I think just only 3 people are online now, and I am very sure that the others want the classes to just go and watch the replay on YouTube like that. So if you have any questions within the 3 people, then I could actually make a response because I think we have come to the peak of maybe the whole design process like that. Okay, so if there will be no questions, I will leave the video. So the video will be posted today. If there's no questions, the video will be posted today, this night, probably by 12, on our YouTube channel. So in case you're not subscribed, please do well to subscribe. I will send the link now on the Telegram channel so you guys could be able to subscribe to it. Please leave a subscription. Please do subscribe, and also when you're sharing with your friends, please ensure that you also tell them to do subscribe. It helps us to make more content. Okay, I think this is a different one. Okay, so yeah, so as I said, sent link on the platform. You could also check it out, and also you wait for the replay to be posted right over there. So anybody that has anything to say, maybe a question, maybe in the next 3 minutes before we call it a night, and then we probably strategize for next week, something like that. Okay, so um okay, so I want to appreciate everybody for being live on this platform. I also want to appreciate uh my team for trying to for what they have done over the week, for also trying to see how the whole stuff could actually go in place. Sorry I didn't publicize it, or I didn't make it public that's about the class, and it was like moving around. So in case if you are not informed, we're going to try and strategize for next week and see how we can make it to be more public, so that you guys will know both the time and also the date and what platform we are also going to be using. So thank you for your time. Thank you for having this session with me. Thank you, Mercy, and thank you, uh my guy from outside. Yeah. So yeah, I'll be waiting for your response. Please chat me up if you have any questions. And my DM is open. I will also want to interact with you if you have anything like that. Thank you all, and have a good night rest, and I'll see you next week.